Hi there. Do you like protein cookies? If you do, go ahead, give us a like, thumbs up, and subscribe. I like protein cookies. Not so much for dessert, but first thing in the morning with coffee. Now, an apple is a healthier choice, and that is what I have most days, but some days I do like a protein cookie. And the ones that I've been buying are 250 calories each. And they're also $7 for about $7 for a box of 4. And 250 calories is just a lot of calories for 15 grams of protein, and no more bulk than you're going to get in that protein cookie. So I really don't like that. It's just too many calories. I'm not willing to pay that many calories for that cookie. And these cookies here that I'm going to show you are about 150 calories each. So that's 100 calorie per cookie savings. And in a year's time, that can translate to 10 pounds of fat. In 60 days, you're looking at 6,000 calories. So just do the math. That's about 10 pounds of fat in a year if you just make the one switch from the 250 calorie cookie to the 150 calorie cookie. But not only that, now groceries are costing so much money. People are so stressed when they go to the grocery store. And a box of 4 cookies for around $7, even if it's a protein cookie, can seem like a stretch. So these cookies here for 12 will cost you about $5. 12 cookies of the ones that come in the box that I've been buying are going to cost $21. In a year's time, that can easily save you $480 if you eat a cookie every day. Just one cookie every day. And $500 a year is a lot of money for protein cookies. That's going to run you about $630, I think, and these will run you about $150. So that's $480 savings. So if you start making these cookies, in a year you could be 10 pounds lighter and have about $500 more in your bank. So I think it's worth the time and the effort. They're so easy, and they are so incredibly good. I was just really surprised at how well they turned out. They've got a wonderful flavor and a texture, and they're filling, and they don't crumble. They're kind of chewy and moist. It's a great cookie. And there's just a couple things here I want to show you. One, I like Smuckers. I like the chunky. You can do it with a smooth, but I think this is just the best natural peanut butter. It's just peanuts and salt, that's it. And something my grandmother taught me years ago, because she liked this peanut butter. I won't even have this in my house unless I'm doing something like this, because I've been known to eat this at 3 a.m. with a spoon, and I can't do that. That's way too many calories. If you'll notice, this jar is empty because I've made 2 batches. I wouldn't have this jar in my house any other way. Way too much temptation. But something my grandmother showed me about this peanut butter is you've got to stir it. Don't try to stir it in the jar. You're just going to make a mess. The oil's going to splatter everywhere. You're going to have really strong hands to do that. And it's not going to mix really good. You're still going to have some dry spots in there. So for a recipe especially where you want it to be uniform, then take a bowl. You can see where I dump mine in this smaller bowl here, and get your beaters and beat that stuff until it's evenly, smooth throughout. And that will give you your best results for the cookies. You're going to have uniform consistency there. And something else, if you've not ever done this, or if you don't do it regularly, make sure to use parchment paper. That may be a duh for you. It was not for me for a long time. I started baking when I was 6 years old. I begged until my mother let me, and we never heard of parchment paper, and I never used it till the last few years. It makes an incredible cookie, because the thing you want to guard against when you're making cookies is the bottom burning. And the parchment paper will really help guard against that. No matter how new your cookie sheet is, or shiny or whatever, the bottom is still going to get hotter than the top, and it may tend to burn. The parchment paper really helps prevent that, so make sure to use parchment paper. And for the cookies, you what you want is a cup of peanut butter, and you want about 1/4 of a cup of this. Now, I like this. This is Equate Isolate Whey. Now, I'm not debating, whether the isolate or the regular whey protein is better for building or anything. That's neither here nor there. But the isolate is easier to digest for some people. So that's why I buy the isolate. And this particular brand, this Equate brand, it's just plain vanilla. It's a really good taste. It works great with the Smuckers peanut butter. These cookies just came out with just a wonderful flavor. So this is the one that I used. Takes 1/4 cup. Just use whichever vanilla protein powder you like. Just make sure there's no sugar in that protein powder. And you want to put about 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt in the cookies to keep them from being flat. And this is kind of silly because I really do think that salt is salt. But on impulse one day, because I use very little salt, I bought this Hain iodized sea salt. I like iodized. And, we don't get that much iodine unless we eat a lot of seafood, so I like it. There are some medical conditions that it can, aggravate, so I'm not telling you to use iodized salt. But this salt here is sort of a coarse grain, and because I don't use very much salt, I really appreciate the flavor of it when I have it. And this has just got a really nice, crisp bite to it. So I like this salt. Use about 1/4 teaspoon of whatever salt you like. And you want 2 eggs. And when I get all my ingredients in here and I start to beat the cookie dough, I use the mixer to beat it. I beat it until it's really uniform, until I believe that those eggs have toughened up. I beat that dough, and as it starts to climb up the beaters, I'll take it out and let it spin off, and then I'll put it back in there. If you've got a KitchenAid, then that's fantastic. I don't. I got this little hand mixer, and but I beat it for several minutes just to make sure that it's mixed really well. Plus that protein in the eggs toughens, and when it toughens, you're less likely to get a cookie that will crumble and fall apart. If you'll notice, these don't do that. They're nice and moist on the inside, and they're chewy, and they don't fall apart. You could go down the road with these, eat them anywhere. They're not coming apart, and yet they're soft, and chewy. Really, really good. So once I get everything beat up really good, got to tell you, you want to use 2/3 of a cup of granular or granulated swerve. Now, I've been known to use Splenda. Splenda's fine if you like it, or any other 0-calorie granulated sweetener that you want to use. But we decided to use Swerve Granular in this recipe, and it's perfect. The flavor is just perfectly balanced. It's perfectly sweet. And so you want to use 2/3 of a cup of this, unless you just have another one that you really like. So once you get it beat up until it's nice and thick, it's very consistent. You can see, you probably can't see, but you can see the peanuts in there because I'm using chunky. You want to scoop out about 2 tablespoons for each cookie. You want to divide this into 12 portions, and I say it's like 2 fat tablespoons. It's going to be a little more than 2 level tablespoons. And you want your hands to be wet because it's really sticky. And roll balls and put them here on on your parchment paper. And then, once you get 12 cookies rolled out, you'll see I've already got 4 here. This is not my first take. I've already got 1 batch cooked. And once you get the balls rolled out, you want 12 of them. Even as you can get them, then you take your fork and you put, the hatch marks on there that are traditional for peanut butter cookies. And wet your fork every time you start to press it into the cookie. And that way you won't tear them all to pieces when you start to, pull that fork out. This is so worth your time. Like I said, this is my second batch. This is my 3rd or 4th take on the video. Little technical difficulty, but it's so worth spending the time to do this. I'm making these. I'm going to have them over the next several days. My son loves them, and he will eat them for dessert sometimes. I like them in the morning, so I'm going to have 24 protein cookies at a total cost of 24 will cost me about $10. But for 24 cookies, like I was buying before, it would have cost me $42. I would have had to have 6 boxes at about $7 each. So, it's a win-win situation. I can have one of these cookies for about 150 calories, save that 100 calories, and for the apple that I should be having instead, or maybe put the apple with it. That would make a pretty decent breakfast, actually. And you have your cookie already made, and you have the apple, no cooking. Just get that cup of coffee and go. But, I can have this 150 calorie cookie and be really satisfied, and, like I said, have that other 100 calories for something else. And then also saving money. It's just a win-win situation. Now, let us know how you feel about these cookies. They are really, really good. I think it's one of the best no sugar added recipes that we've ever had. But let us know how you like them if you try them. And you really should try them. They're really, really easy to make. And if you have any other recipes that you would like a healthier version of, let us know. Put it in the comments. We have red velvet cake. We have all kinds of brownies. We have entree recipes. We have, soups. I mean, just all kinds of things. We have stuffing. It's like a bacon stuffing, I think, on the website. So just let us know what you'd like in the way of a recipe. We have all kinds of holiday recipes. Super Bowl recipes. All the major holidays, we have recipes for all those things. And so just leave a comment, and thank you for watching. And I hope that you save some money and drop some weight by using this recipe and making you some of these scrumptious peanut butter protein cookies. Catch you next time. Love you all. Bye now.